A very good evening. Welcome to Premier League Live here in LFS this Saturday evening for our second game of the night after Spurs' defeat at home to Chelsea earlier this evening. Will it be the same for Liverpool against Aston Villa, or will Liverpool return to winning ways in the Premier League for the first time in quite a while? We will see tonight. 4 games on the bench which they have lost. Let's have a look. This is our game of the week, of course. And Liverpool have lost 6 of the last 7 games in all competitions. They've lost the last 4 league games, whereas Aston Villa have won their last 4 league games after failing to win any of their first 5 league matches. Well, the sides have met 60 times in the Premier League, with Liverpool winning 34 of those meetings, drew 13 and lost 13. And Aston Villa's last win at Anfield was on a 1-0 win in September of 2014. The last 5 meetings has seen Liverpool unbeaten against Villa, winning 2 and drawing 3 of those last meetings, with 2 of which coming at Villa Park in recent meetings. The last 2 games at Anfield against Villa for Liverpool have ended in a win and a clean sheet. Some 2 things that are very rare for Liverpool in recent times. Those are the last 5 meetings, all league meetings by the way, in that run. And look at that, a month of horrors was October. Liverpool lost 4 of their 5 games they played in the month of October. Their only win came away at Frankfurt in the Champions League, a 5-1 win at that. The other results in the league, the 3 league defeats in that run, have all come by with the 1-goal scoreline, and Crystal Palace thumping them here at Anfield in the League Cup on Wednesday night. Of course, that was a very much changed side for Arne Slot. 4 of Liverpool's 6 league games in the month of November are at Anfield. So if they're going to get back to winning ways and get back to top table form, it will be the home of the champions that might have a chance to do that for them. And we start tonight against an Aston Villa side who, as I said, couldn't be in better form coming into this one. And also in terms of the teams that they've played. They beat Man City last week at Villa Park. Will Aston Villa be able to do another big statement victory tonight? It would be a statement if they were. They emerge from the tunnel, the 2 sets of players here at Anfield, to a loving roar for the home crowd, for the home players, and the travelling Villa fans as well in that far corner. Let's have a look at the 2 teams then, starting with Liverpool. Georgi Marmadashvili, it continues in goal with the injured Alisson not available. Conor Bradley starts at right back after some calls that Calvin Ramsey could play at right back tonight. He's not involved. Ibrahima Konate and Virgil van Dijk are at centre back, with Robertson coming in at left back ahead of Milos Kerkez, who's on the bench. Ryan Gravenberch is back in midfield after a few weeks of injury. He's alongside Alexis McAllister and Dominic Szoboszlai in the midfield. Cody Gakpo's off the left, Mo Salah's off the right, and Ugo Ekitike leads the Liverpool line tonight. No Alexander Isak in the Liverpool squad. Wirtz and Chiesa both on the bench as well. For Aston Villa, Emi Martinez continues in goal. The back 4 of Matty Cash, Ezri Konsa, Pau Torres and Luca Digne. In midfield, Amadou Onana alongside Boubacar Kamara. Morgan Rogers in the 10. Captain John McGinn off the left. Evan Gerson starts at right wing, with Ollie Watkins leading the Villa line. The man who came off the bench and made some real great impact last week, Donyell Malen. He didn't make a scoring impact, but he made an impact nonetheless. He's on the bench alongside Jadon Sancho, Ross Barkley as well, amongst the options off the bench for Aston Villa. Interestingly, no Harvey Elliott against his former team tonight, though. So it is Liverpool against Aston Villa. 2 sides in very contrasting form. But will one of them pick up a much-needed result? Will Liverpool pick up a much-needed result is the better point tonight. We will see. Kick-off at Anfield under the lights on a Saturday night is next. A very good evening, welcome to Premier League Live. This is the way the weekend has looked already. A reminder of all of the games we've got coming up for you here on LFS this weekend. We've already seen Chelsea beat Spurs earlier. Liverpool v Villa is our game of the week. And then 3 games still to come for you this weekend after tonight. West Ham take on Newcastle tomorrow at 2, followed by Man City taking on Bournemouth from 4:30. And then on Monday nights, we round off match to week 10 with a trip to the Stadium of Light to the northeast as Sunderland take on Everton. On the Monday nights. Right, but here it's Saturday night, under the lights, a new month, and hopefully a turn-up of form for Liverpool is hoping Arne Slot. For Unai Emery, well, he's hoping that his team continue what has been a fantastic run of form after a winless start to the season. They've won each of their last 4 league games. Can they make it 5 tonight? We will find out very shortly. Of course, with Remembrance weekend in 2 weeks' time, it will be tonight that Liverpool will choose to remember those who have fallen in years gone past, of course, and they will remember this because it's their last home game before Remembrance Sunday. So we will have a moment of silence before this game in remembrance of all of those who have fought in war and lost their lives in any capacity around the world. A wonderfully observed moment there as a beautiful bit of music played on the trumpet there, as is tradition with Remembrance Sunday. And of course, in any capacity around the world, war is never something that it brings a smile to anyone's face, so anybody that loses their life through those circumstances will always be remembered as heroes for those causes. Right, back to the football tonight, which we are all qualified to talk about. Liverpool against Aston Villa here at Anfield this evening. Liverpool in all red, Villa in all white. Very contrasting. As is their forms coming into this one tonight. Liverpool kicking towards the Anfield Road end and the Kop end in the second half, as is tradition. Our referee Stuart Atwell. And Villa will get us underway then in a moment or two. Anytime today, Morgan Rogers is the one standing over the centre circle on the ball. And we are underway at Anfield. Liverpool taking on an Aston Villa side who are in great form, and a Liverpool side who are in quite damaging form coming into this one. The defeat again at home to Crystal Palace in the League Cup in midweek was quite a compounding one for Liverpool and their fans. A pretty uproarious one, although there's an issue here for Ollie Watkins, who's gone down right from the kickoff. He ran forward and he kind of collided with Ryan Gravenberch. We see it here. He just kind of collided with Ryan Gravenberch and he slightly hurt himself there, Ollie Watkins. He's okay, but he took a firm whack from the quite broad figure of Ryan Gravenberch. And of course, it's good to see, I'm sure from a Liverpool point of view, Ryan Gravenberch back in the side, of course, with probably a real miss for him in the midfield. That lack of control in the Liverpool midfield has been one of the problems. There have been many a problem, and that might be just one of them. It certainly was. It looked like it anyway. His job that he did last season so incredibly, winning Liverpool the title. He was a massive player in that season. As Liverpool win a free kick down the right side there. Look at Digne committing a foul, of course the former Everton player. Robertson. Back to Mamadashvili. To Konate. And I think the team selection tonight for Arne, oh what a lovely flick by Salah. And he's found it to Szoboszlai. Not much room down that right side to manoeuvre, but he's done well. Szoboszlai lays it off to Gravenberch. And Gravenberch now bursting towards the goal, has a shot. Well blocked by Aston Villa, but nicely received by Szoboszlai, although a little bit loosely given away ultimately by the Hungarian. Nice little flick there by Salah initially. As Gakpo had the ball sail over his head and Van Dijk will just retrieve from the Villa clearance. But a little bit better there. A little bit better from Mo Salah. A bit of a skill that usually we see of him when he's brimming with confidence, but he's not been one that has filled the stats books in the last few weeks. It's just very un-Mo Salah-like. Very unlike Mo Salah is what the better way to say that. It was a nice flick there. But as I was saying about the team selection for Liverpool tonight, the only two players in the starting 11 for the home side that didn't start a game last season or wasn't here when they won the title last season is the goalkeeper and the centre forward, Georgi Marmanishvili and Ugo Ekitike. Every other player starting tonight for Liverpool started or played in the title race season for Liverpool last season. So a lot more experience, a lot more of what they did last year, seemingly for Arne Slot tonight. A lot more of what they know of their players, and a lot less unknown entities, in a sense. There's a throw in down the right there from Liverpool by Bradley. Works its way back to Van Dijk. Now Szoboszlai. Not much manoeuvring there as Villa deep. As Konate takes a touch, pings one out to the left-hand side, and it skids under the foot of Cody Gakpo. Nice ball, just not a great touch by Gakpo. And it skids under his right foot and out for the Villa throw-in, but Liverpool trying to impose themselves on Villa early doors here. Andy says Villa are having the luck again a little more last few games, and over the many years of watching Villa, we've always give you a game. Certainly, that's very true. Even when you were a team that were fighting relegation, if you remember the season Liverpool won the title, the 2019-20 season, even that game away at Villa Park was probably the toughest game Liverpool played that season. They still won it, that late winner from Sadio Mane, but Villa are always a team that can give Liverpool a few question marks if they need to. And if they're on form, Villa, they will always cause problems. But we will see what irons out tonight. Whether Liverpool will be better. They will need to be, certainly if they're recent form. But what will we see of Aston Villa tonight? What way they will approach this game? Liverpool on the press. Semi Martinez calm in his own box there as Villa trying to play out, and they do play out away from that Liverpool press. And space here for Rodgers to ping one forward. Lovely ball out to the left hand side. Touch taken back inside here by Watkins. Watkins space, works it towards Rodgers. Into the Liverpool box they come. Morgan Rodgers trying to have a go, and he's hit the post. I think Marmanishvili got something to that, but it was a good shot by Rodgers. And now Villa are forward, trying to keep the pressure on Liverpool. Moving it nicely. Camera. Cash. And back it goes to Konsa. But moment there for Morgan Rodgers. A big moment. A thrashing shot off the right post of Liverpool. But whether the goalkeeper got something to it, I think he did. Georgi Marmanishvili did get something to that ball. We'll see a replay of it very soon as Robertson dives in there, but a very heavy touch there from Amadou Onana. We'll see this shot again from Rodgers. Steps inside Conor Bradley. It takes a deflection off Bradley, and that's what carries it onto the post. So actually, without the deflection, it would have been either a save from Marmanishvili or a goal. But the deflection off Conor Bradley took it onto the post. Will be a throw into Villa down the right hand side here. The first shot of the game going the first major part of the game going the Villa way, hitting the woodwork. And you talk about Liverpool's recent form, their most concerning part of their form is conceding. So one, easily at times, but also two, what time they concede in games. They concede very early in games, give themselves a real hard mountain to climb. When they are 1-0 down in any game, it's going to be instantly harder for you to fight back and win. And a lot of last season we talked about their resilience, their ability to, even when they did go 1-0 down, to fight back, but it wasn't every week, it wasn't every game they were losing goals. They were really solid defensively last season, Liverpool, en route to the title, and you have to be, but having conceded 14 goals in the 9 games they've played this season, that's certainly not the sign of what a Champions-like team looks like. 14 goals conceded. Contrastingly, Aston Villa, who had a terrible start to the season, have only conceded 8 goals this season. Arsenal have conceded 3, but they're on a different planet. Sunderland have conceded 7. Spurs have conceded 8, and Bournemouth and Chelsea respectively conceded 11. So Liverpool are outliers at the top of the in and around the top half of the table of the amount of goals they've conceded this season. However, they have scored 16 out of 9 games, so just under 2 goals a game. Konate to Van Dijk. Now Robertson back to Virgil van Dijk. We'll play it out to Connor Bradley. Down the right hand side, a very compacted looking midfield. Bradley going wide to Salah. And back to Bradley. And now out wide for Szoboszlai, who made the run down the right. Szoboszlai whipping a ball in early towards Gakpo. Cleared away at the back post by Cash. And Robertson swinging one back in. Too deep by Robertson. And behind for a goal kick. A little bit more energy there, but Robertson's cross a little too deep. Nice work down the right hand side. The Wemby Szoboszlai might have been just offside, but in the end it doesn't matter and it comes to nothing. But good combination down that right side. 3 men that certainly did play with together a lot down that right side last season for Liverpool. Bradley, Salah and Szoboszlai. On that occasion you could see the chemistry that was there between those players, as that's nicely won back by McAllister and Robertson working hard. Now Van Dijk. Villa picking their moments to press. Here's McAllister. Back to Andy Robertson. On to Virgil van Dijk, and he will flow one forward towards Ugo Ekitike, as Cash did well there, clearing the ball away under pressure. McAllister pressing, but Cash gets there first. He plays it towards Onana, and the press from Szoboszlai forces him back the way. And Martinez clearing his lines. Nice first touch there by Luca Digne, but Konate's in the right place at the right time. And retrieves for Liverpool and recycles back to Mamardashvili. And it's the crowd we're quite receptive of. And Liverpool back in possession. Here's Robertson. Gets the ball down the left from McAllister. Tries to float it towards Gakpo, but straight at Ezri Konsa, and I think the flag was up anyway against Gakpo. Bouncing ball in behind here, brought down by Watkins. And tried to link it up there down that left-hand side, did Villa, but not really working on that occasion. And Bradley scrambling to keep the ball alive there. Had no real options, and the ball's come back to Ollie Watkins here, down the left for Villa. Gravenberch stepped across to help out. And a throw-in goes the way of Aston Villa, I believe, based on the crowd's reaction. And it does. And 10.5 minutes gone. Liverpool have had more of the possession, but the game's slightly in the balance. With Villa with a throw in here on this left hand side. Opportunity to maybe float one towards the box. Set pieces have been an issue for Liverpool. They go short with this throw in, but everybody's in the box. The ball whipped in, away by Van Dijk. Commanding header by the Liverpool captain. Cycled out wide to Konsa, back to Cash, who will try and swing one in, but it's got no height on it there at all, and cleared away by Gakpo. And Villa will just play it back with Matty Cash to their goalkeeper again. Great ball by Martinez, taken in by Luca Digne, and now Pau Torres, the centre-back, is forward, trying to cross it. And he has done what a centre-back would do in that area. Absolutely ping it behind for a goal kick. I don't know why he ended up in that position, Pau Torres, but Liverpool were thankful that he did, and his cross was no worry whatsoever. Van Dijk. Another long ball forward. Matty Cash just heading that one straight out of play for a Liverpool throw. one interesting little stat that has emerged over the last 9 weeks of the season. That's a lovely combination from Liverpool from that throw. Here's McAllister. Lots of Villa players back as McAllister's poor ball. Nicely taken in by Gravenberg, who did well to adjust to that poor ball. And Liverpool pushing into the Villa half again. It was a really good combination between Ekitike and McAllister initially down the left channel. Van Dijk to Konate. Out wide to Salah. Bradley's cut on the underlap. Here is Connor Bradley's into the box here. Connor Bradley with a cutback. Ekitike trying to keep it alive. Is he still hold of it, the Frenchman? And the flag's going to go up for an offside. I don't know whether that's against Bradley or Ekitike. We'll see it again. Yeah. Oh, Bradley's onside there, I think. If he's off, it's by a millimetre. In the end, it doesn't really matter because it comes to nothing and the assistant's flag does go up. But as I was saying, that interesting stat that's emerged is Liverpool are the only team in the league this season yet to draw a game of football. They have played 9 games, won 5, lost 4. They have yet to draw a game this season. In the league, that is. It's a very interesting little stat that's just emerged. They are the only team yet to draw this season. Which just shows you the kind of how frantic the first 9 weeks of the campaign have been for Liverpool. It's been very up or down. It's been no grey area. It's either been they've won or they've lost. It's been a very kind of polarising 9 weeks of the season for Liverpool. The first 5 they won, the last 4 they've lost. Aston Villa winless in their first 5 league games, won all of the last 4. Here is Szoboszlai to hit one from distance, and it just skidded wide of the left post. He's got that in his locker, as Dominic Szoboszlai showed that in the 5-1 win over Frankfurt for Liverpool. This one a little bit further out, and it's just a little bit off target. He just dragged it wide of the right post. It actually came back towards the goal and the spin on the ball, but just dragged wide of the left post. But positive from Szoboszlai, who would be argued is probably one of Liverpool's best players this season. His consistent performances haven't really been reflective in terms of the team performances, but it's been really noted that from the games I've watched of Liverpool this season that Dominic Szoboszlai has probably been consistently putting in a 7, 8 out of 10 every week, and certainly not many Liverpool players can say that this season. As McAllister wins a free kick off Boubacar Kamara. I think Arne Slot making these, bringing in these players tonight. You know, Alisson's not in the squad tonight because he's injured, so that's why Mohamedashvili's in, and Ekitike's in because basically Isak's injured and there's no other centre forward to play. No disrespect to Ekitike, but I think he really does want to emphasise upon experience, upon players that have the rhythm and chemistry together, that played so well together last season, that maybe that can conjure up some form for Liverpool. That's really what it seems like Arne Slot's done tonight. And here's Andy Robertson to take this free kick. Both centre-backs in the area. Robertson's delivery is up in there, and it's a Villa defender that heads it, but there's a foul on a Villa player in there against Van Dijk, I believe that was, and a free kick to Aston Villa. Andy says, as a Villa fan, Liverpool are always liked because they play to win by as many goals as they can in history, but that's always made their defence suffer throughout history. Yeah, and you could argue that, yeah, scoring goals is the name of the game, obviously. But as much as that, it's about defending situations, it's about stopping the opponents, it's about being aggressive defensively and keeping clean sheets and being strong. Oh, that's well won back by Gakpo, but the ball skidded away from him, and Amadou Onana had to clear it long. But Liverpool's press appreciated by the crowd there. But I think it's not a coincidence that in the last 2 seasons that Liverpool won the league, last season and the 1920 season, their defence was absolutely impeccable. They had by far the best defence in the country, probably in Europe, in those occasions. So here's a chance. Gakpo's header comes across towards Ekitike, and it's just ahead of the Frenchman. But it was better from Liverpool again. Getting really good play down the right side from Salah, breaking past bodies, lifting the ball into the box, and it's Gakpo's leaping header It just evades Ugo Ekitike in the middle, who was stretching to get any sort of grasp on the ball with his right foot. The press is intense from Liverpool, and here's Gakpo, wins it back again. Flicked off by Szoboszlai, and the shot from Robertson is deflected into the hands of Martinez. That's another opportunity for Liverpool. Again, it's a good press on the keeper by Szoboszlai. One back by Robertson. Then Gakpo pings it towards the box. Clipped off the head of Szoboszlai, and Robertson had a shot in the centre forward area that deflected off a Villa defender and into the hands of the Villa goalkeeper. Villa playing out again. They broke past the press of Liverpool on that occasion. But tracking back was Gakpo. Didn't win the ball. Did Liverpool on that occasion, and now they have a bit more pressure to deal with. Here's Matty Cash flying forward, and his shot was arrowing towards the top corner, and Marmadashvili makes a save. Great play down the right side, and it takes a wicked deflection off Van Dijk from Cash's shot. And what a save by Marmadashvili onto the post. Quite top class, that. It's an awkward deflection that really he can't do much about, and the keeper does everything he can, and he does really well there, Marmadashvili. Matty Cash almost scored a fluky goal, but it's a corner with that wonderful save by Marmadashvili. And our first corner of the game. Villa at the Kop end, right hand side. Lots of bodies in the box. Cross delivered towards the box, taken short initially the corner, but blocked by Conor Bradley at the near side from Matty Cash's attempt to cross it. And they've given a throw in here down the right side off Bradley, and Cash will look to take it long. Very intriguing game. Cash to take the long throw. Whipped into the box and tracked all the way by Van Dijk and headed away by the Liverpool captain. Work back towards Cash, works it in behind for Rodgers. Rodgers across and up and away by Konate. And Van Dijk heads it back into the mix, and it's cleared away by Ekitike. Bit of threat there from Aston Villa. But Liverpool fending it off. Both sides having some opportunities. There's only one thing about Liverpool games, is it's entertaining for the neutral. There's always opportunities at both ends. That's what makes it so entertaining. And of course, on the 20th minute, as is a custom, the crowd will rise to remember their number 20. Of course. Ekitike trying to press Emi Martinez, and Konsa back to his own goalkeeper again. He will take no risk in going long that time. Konate wins the header, but the second ball not won by Liverpool. Here's Rodgers. Rodgers breaking away from a man, having a shot. Saved by Marmadashvili, again called into action. Here's McGinn. Ball whipped into the box. Van Dijk clears it away. And Onana playing the ball out to the left-hand side again. As the crowd still sing, and that will go behind for a goal kick to Liverpool. Marmadashvili called into action again there. Morgan Rodgers this time having a shot. He strode forward onto his right foot. He had the shot, and Marmadashvili parries it away nicely. Good save. He's done quite well there. Konate towards Salah. There's a Villa player down. No issue with the referee. Is Liverpool springing forward here. Szoboszlai, edge of the box. Gakpo back to Salah, who fires right through the ball but can't keep it down. It's Lucadinha that's down. But if it's not a head injury, the referee doesn't have to stop the game, and he didn't. And Salah, there's nothing in that. Really weak from Lucadinha, if I'm honest. Salah barely touches him, just holding him off, and he barely touches him. And the crowd remembering where Lucadinha joined Aston Villa from, with a nice chant there towards Everton. It's been a very intriguing first quarter of this game. 22.5 minutes gone. Villa 0, Liverpool 0 here at Anfield. Oh, sloppy ball back here. Here's Szoboszlai. Hits it right at the keeper. Big chance. Not taken. And Villa, I'm sure, will be sorely relieved. That's a terrible ball back by Camara. He's waiting for the net to bulge. I think we all are. And in the end, that's a shot by Szoboszlai right down the throat of the goalkeeper and Emi Martinez. We'll save those all day long. But when they press the ball, Liverpool, there is opportunity. But it's finding that balance again, being too aggressive on the press, because seen Villa bypass it and have space in behind. So Liverpool need to find that balance of when to press and what moments to press. And they need to get it when they do press, because if Villa beat the press, there is space in behind, as we've seen early in this game. Martinez in no hurry to get the ball out of his feet. Lays it off to Pau Torres, which initiates the Liverpool press. Ekitike trying to make a nuisance of himself and used his body too much. Free kick to Aston Villa. Yeah, Boubacar Kamara was the one that was being chased by Ekitike, and just a little bit too overzealous from the Liverpool centre forward on that occasion. Well, Liverpool have won 6 of the last 7 Premier League home games against Aston Villa. They drew the other one, and having been winless against them in 4 at Anfield before that run. So they're on a good run of form at home against Aston Villa. But here's Evan Gerson. He's made the run in behind, and Robertson on the recovery tries to battle, and so does Van Dijk, throwing bodies at it. And in the end, it comes out for a goal kick to Liverpool. Really well defended by Robertson and Van Dijk there, we see it. You'd think Evan Gerson's beaten past them, and for a moment he has, but Robertson gets a glimpse at it. He tries to put him off, and then Van Dijk does really well. Gets back in, makes sure that enough was enough, plays it off the player in Evan Gerson, and gives Liverpool the goal kick as Konate. What's he doing in his own box there? Half asleep, and he has to be bailed out by his own captain as Bradley clears away. And foul on the edge of the box there by Evan Gerson, the free kick to Liverpool. But Ibrahima Konate, what planet was he on? What planet? What planet was Konate on there? He's very lucky. I mean, he just stood there. Did not know there was a Villa player chasing him down. Complete lack of awareness by the Frenchman on that occasion. Wasn't punished. And Virgil van Dijk there to help out. And that kind of makes it a little bit more of a concern for Liverpool, is the fact that one defender is having to cover the other constantly and cover over for him. And I know Van Dijk's done that for all of the players, for everybody, for years at Liverpool. But when your centre-back partner is not trustworthy in those situations, it does make your job a lot harder as the other centre-back, and makes you second-guess yourself, and in turn makes the team less confident. And I think that's certainly what's also right Liverpool up, as Salah plays in behind trying to find Szoboszlai, who was fantastically covered over by Amadou Onana, who's collided with the advertising hoardings, but he's off the pitch, so should be no stoppage there, and Szoboszlai's not happy with the reaction that Emi Martinez gave. But Onana's hurt, but see this again, they're tussling for the ball, and Szoboszlai just shoves Onana out of the way. But I mean, again, he makes a real meal of that. He doesn't make much contact with the advertising hoardings, but he's hurt himself in one aspect as the Villa midfielder, and sure that one will make sure he gets some treatment. And Dominic Szoboszlai shakes his head in disbelief. Well, Aston Villa have won just one of the last 15 Premier League games against Liverpool. That was, of course, the 7-2 victory at Villa Park in October of 2020. They've drawn 3 and lost 11 of their last 14. The crowd are not happy. Stuart Atwell has been questioned over his decision making here. He's allowed treatment to Onana, but he's not allowed the game to continue. But he's off the field, so is that the rule? I think you can still play on. But the referee's not allowed that, so the crowd are not particularly happy with that. But Amadou Onana's back to his feet, and the players are back onto the field, and he will obviously still have to stay off the field for 30 seconds, but he's back to his feet. A little bit hobbly, but he's behind the goal, and he's trying to work himself back to feeling comfortable again, as Onana struggling in doing that. Doesn't look the most comfortable walking around the sideline there, and the crowd making their opinions known. Right, throw in our free goal kick, to Aston Villa, which they clear. Ball bouncing down, and Konate physical with his man, and Bradley winning a throw in down that right hand side for Liverpool. Van Dijk. Across to Konate, who will loft one over the top towards Ekitike, but not finding him. And on that occasion, the ball bounces, well defended by Villa, and Pau Torres gets it back to his goalkeeper. Onana's on the field. He's a little bit hobbly, and he's soldiering on at the moment as the Villa midfielder. As, he takes his time there, Martinez. A few Liverpool players missed their challenges in the middle, and Konate a little bit too physical, according to the referee on Ollie Watkins. Free kick to Aston Villa, which Ollie Watkins gets up and smiles about. There's nothing really in that. YRN Korean says, "Come on, Liverpool." "100%, Andy. It's definitely that. When Liverpool press too intently, there's so much space in behind, and when the opposition are coming right back at you, you're always going to have trouble. And teams know that now, I think. And that's always a struggle for champions. You know, in the season after you become champions, it is always more difficult to play against opponents, and it's hard to do it back to back, and that's why Man City have been so prevailed and so kind of lauded for their performances and winning 4 in a row. But when teams start to figure out how you attack and the way you play and the way you defend and the way you figure things out and the way you try and conjure teams up, but surely quality should prevail in all of those circumstances. Not always, but for Liverpool, that will be something they can hold on to, that they've immense quality in this team and that the form can't continue forever. I mean, it's impossible for that to happen. But it's all about slow steps. I think Liverpool in this first half have been okay. Here's Gakpo striding towards the box, skipping past a man, going down, and that's a late challenge by Evan Gerson. It's going to be a free kick to Liverpool. Gakpo, who was striding away towards the edge of the box. Yeah, Cash gets beaten, and then Gerson gets beaten, and Gakpo was always going to go down on that occasion, and he had no choice but to go down. Definitely a foul. Really a forwards-like challenge from Evan Gerson there, leaving a stray leg and a free kick to Liverpool. Andy says Liverpool late winner by the narrative how the game is going so far. I think, I don't know, it's quite in the balance at the minute from what I've taken from this game so far. Just another Andy says, I don't care who wins as long as it's a draw and Virgil and Gakpo score. Well, it seems like you do care about the score. Good prediction. Well, let's see if that happens. It's looking for a Dutch contingent to score this afternoon, Andy. Right, Szoboszlai is amongst a few players over this free kick. Salah and McAllister are the others, but McAllister's just going to walk away. So Szoboszlai and Salah over this free kick, left-hand side of the box, right about 18, 19 yards out, probably 19 to 20 yards out. So it benefits a right footer or a left footer to curl it round that wall into the bottom corner, but that'll be a tricky one. Let's see. Free kick for Liverpool then. Edge of the box. Szoboszlai curls it, well saved by Martinez. Bottom right corner of the goal. Martinez with a good save. Really good free kick by Szoboszlai. As Robertson flicks forward from the long ball, he gets onto it again, flicks it out wide for Gakpo. Nicely done by Robertson there. Here's Andy Robertson in space, tries to float it in behind for his man and Gakpo, but works it back to McAllister. Now Konate, better from Liverpool again. You can see them. Things are clicking a little bit in moments. Not completely fluid, but there are certainly opportunities there. Szoboszlai pings forward again. The cross cleared away by Ezri Konsa. Back to Connor Bradley. Liverpool need to keep pressure. They're going to test Villa here, but at the moment, Villa are comfortable in their shape. Szoboszlai, nice ball round the corner to McAllister, and out wide it goes to Gakpo. Wide on the left, up against Cash, beats past his man, works the ball towards the box. Cleared away by Konsa, recycled by Szoboszlai, and Gravenberch gets it back to Szoboszlai, who will play it back to Konate. A little bit better from Liverpool, sustaining the pressure a little bit. Szoboszlai seems to be the conductor at the moment in that Liverpool midfield, conducting where the passes go, conducting the tempo, conducting the control. Salah beats past away from his man and works it inside, and here's Mohamed Salah charging towards the goal. Little bit of heavy touch, bobbles in his right favour. Robertson tries to cross it, blocked and cleared away. Better pressure from Liverpool, which the crowd are receptive to again. Gravenberch dispossessed in that one-on-one, but Gakpo's trying to battle back, as is Szoboszlai, and does well. Szoboszlai challenging Evan Gerson to win the ball back. As Van Dijk back in position, he hands it off to McAllister. Last 10 minutes of the first half here at Anfield. Liverpool 0, Aston Villa 0. McAllister. Konate. Carried wide on the right. Works it back to McAllister. Robertson was making a run in behind there. It's another interesting thing about Arne Slot's system. They did it last season, Liverpool, a lot. The fullbacks underlapping their wingers rather than overlapping. So Robertson and Bradley playing as inside wingers rather than fullbacks in the more traditional sense that we've seen over the last few years. Gravenberch's cross a little bit awkward. Szoboszlai's there to mop it up, and Van Dijk is able to take control. Gravenberch to Szoboszlai. Down the right to Salah. He's got Bradley in behind. Bradley's made that run again. Connor Bradley with a cut back. Ekitike facing away from goal. Cuts it back. Gakpo miskicks it. And it's cleared away again by Aston Villa, but better from Liverpool once more. Robertson leaving a little bit too much for Cash to get on the end of. And Cash wanting a free kick. I think it's going to be a throw into Villa anyway. But it all started with that free kick from Liverpool that was saved by Martinez. Good save, good strike by Szoboszlai. A little bit more to that far corner. It would have been more of a threat, but good save in the end by Army Martinez. And that kind of started a real 2-3 minute spell of pressure from Liverpool. Gravenberch on the floor as he tried to keep possession, and he's going to get the free kick. Morgan Rogers arguing against that, but free kick has been given by the referee. Andy says Szoboszlai, first half man of the match so far. He's been the most involved in everything. He's everywhere. I agree. He's been very, very good so far in this first half. Dominic Szoboszlai, really impactful. Not only playing the ball in possession, but out of possession, and winning the ball back for Liverpool and making sure there's no open gaps at the back. Certainly in that spell of possession, sustaining the pressure was down to Szoboszlai as Robertson takes the free kick, whipped towards the box. Konate's header was a little bit strange for him, and he's slightly hurt his left foot there as he comes back down on the ground, but he's okay. Konate with a free header there, off target, but is he offside? No, he comes from a deep position and he gets up and onto his head, but doesn't direct it anywhere near the goal. Pau Torres clears. Van Dijk does well to intercept, but Gravenberch overstretches himself and loses possession. The ball played in behind towards McGinn, and Bradley was fouled by John McGinn, but the referee plays advantage. Now Szoboszlai bursting forward, finding McAllister. Can Liverpool take advantage of this advantage? Gakpo going for the shot, and he's absolutely wasted that one. Has Cody Gakpo. Liverpool looking bright when they get forward. Maybe just the last moment is lacking a little bit. The cross was probably the right option there for Gakpo rather than a shot. Or if it was having a shot, he should have kept it down a lot better. Well over the bar. Andy says Ekitike will become good. Just needs a season under his belt. The pressures of striker at Liverpool are the biggest boots to fill. Rush, Fowler, Owen, and more. You have been historically spoiled. 100%. I mean, I actually don't think Ugo Ekitike took too badly to the centre forward position. Probably, in my opinion, in terms of the summer signings for Liverpool, probably the best summer signing for Liverpool in terms of the best performing summer signing and the way that he's played in his first number of games for Liverpool. Rodgers challenged, another challenge that will come Villa's way. The referee's just going to pull it back for that foul on Rodgers. I think that's fair. I don't know if it was Rodgers or Watkins, but Watkins and Gerson were down there. Maybe it was Ollie Watkins. Yeah, it was Ollie Watkins that was brought down. Gravenberch trying to battle him, and then Gakpo trying to battle as well. It's definitely a foul. Liverpool had a free kick. Aston Villa have a free kick as well, but this one a lot further out. And this one very central. It's about 33 yards out, if I was to take a guess, around about that sort of area. 30 odd yards of distance. 39 minutes and 46 seconds gone. Liverpool 0, Villa 0. Liverpool with more of the shots, but both sides have had 2 shots on target. Liverpool being the aggressor. Haven't taken the shot yet, as that really wayward shot from Cash from range is wide of the left post quite distantly. But I think, in the way that we've seen this first half, I think Liverpool have shown a lot of positives. If I'm honest, I think they've been the better side in possession. But it does still, the thing that's been lacking is the shots on target. Testing the goalkeeper enough has still been a little bit of an issue for Liverpool. But they're creating opportunities. They're getting in the right areas to create things, but haven't really done so, as Salah pengs one to Andy Robertson on the opposite side. Quite reminiscent of the old fullback to fullback pass that Liverpool used to do. That switch ball, that was very good from Salah. As I said, the crowd appreciated as Ekitike wide there, waited for the ball a little bit, but Matty Cash putting it out of play for a Liverpool throw. Excuse me. Throw in by Robertson, taken down by Gravenberch, laid off by back to Szoboszlai and into Van Dijk. Through to Konate. McAllister. Szoboszlai to Robertson. Aston Villa out of possession, very solid, very compact, looking to stifle Liverpool and force them wide. Seems to be the prerogative. Here's Salah. Had the better of his man the whole of the first half, really, Salah. And Luka Dean, as Gravenberch receives it and gives it back to his compatriot in Virgil van Dijk. Here's Dominic Szoboszlai on the ball, trying to flick one in behind for Salah, but cleared away by Pau Torres. Back to Gravenberch. Nicely finding Salah. Back to lay it off to Gravenberch, and now falls for McAllister, whose shot was well blocked in there by Ezri Konsa. Great bit of defending. Really nice attacking from Liverpool there again. So Boschai pings one in. Ekitike's header is in. And Liverpool lead. Beautiful header by the number 22, the centre forward, Ugo Ekitike, oozing confidence and oozing quality with that header. Again, it's persistence from Liverpool. We talked about it. When Liverpool press, when Liverpool get forward, they look bright. And it was, again, a moment. McAllister's shot that was blocked. Liverpool kept the pressure. Although he might be offside, Ekitike. He might be offside. Dominic Szoboszlai with the delivery. And a great header by Ekitike. I think he's offside. But we talked about keeping pressure from Liverpool. I think he's offside here, by the way. We talk about keeping pressure and keeping persistence. And that moment, albeit it might be offside, it comes from a moment of keeping pressure on the opposition. But I think it's going to be disallowed. And it looks like he's quite clearly offside there, Ugo Ekitike. And that is going to be relayed to the crowd, which is not going to be happily taken. But the offside is given. So no goal. And Ugo Ekitike's celebrations curtailed. But again, it's a positive sign for Liverpool that they're in this game and they're threatening to take the lead. But the crowd can't believe it. But he is quite clearly offside. It did look easy, but it was beautifully done by Ekitike. It's just unfortunate that he was offside because it was a really well taken header, but just needed to hold his run about a yard. And they shouldn't be downbeaten by that, is what Arne Slot's trying to conjure up to his players, is that's a positive, that you're threatening. And you're in this game and threatening to take the lead. And don't lose their heads from that, really. It's all about mentality. Last minute of the half. Konate's header that pinged a little awkwardly here, and Aston Villa trying to break forward. Battling was McAllister, winning the ball fairly, and now the ball won, taken in nicely by Gakpo. Lovely little bits of skill. Finding Salah, who takes the touch around his man. There's still a lot of Villa players to beat here, but Salah's down the right against Onana. Out muscling Onana, going down, wanting a foul, not going to get one. So Villa play it back, but the crowd are absolutely roaring for this one tonight. You got to say, the crowd have been fabulous for Liverpool. The atmosphere has been wonderful. I think the energy that Liverpool have given in this first half has been a real positive from the crowd's point of view. What you can see is we will have 4 additional minutes is announced around the stadium. 4 minutes before the half. Here's Martinez to Pau Torres. Back pass to Martinez. Oh, loosely given. Salah with the first time. And that is 1-0. That one's not going to be chalked off. And Mohamed Salah scores for Liverpool. A mistake by Aston Villa at the back. Emi Martinez, who barely ever makes a mistake, well, he's made one there. And Mohamed Salah capitalises. And Liverpool probably get the goal they probably deserve. Liverpool 1, Aston Villa 0. And Mohamed Salah celebrating. The Egyptian king is on his throne again. See it here. Again, we said actually earlier on as well about the Liverpool press, and how Villa looked a little bit risky when they're playing out from the back. And on this occasion, it's just the goalkeeper. It's a poor ball. It's a good press. Actually, Gakpo's not really doing very much there. He's just standing there in front of Emi Martinez. Plays a ball towards Pau Torres. Not on the same page, and Salah, first time, with his right foot, tucks it in the net. Beautiful goal. Terrible from Emi Martinez. A mistake and a slice of luck maybe that's gone Liverpool's way. But a bit of slice of luck they probably deserved, because this has been a positive first half performance. Liverpool 1, Aston Villa 0. And you gotta say, he is hunting down some of Liverpool's greats. He is one of Liverpool's greats, Mo Salah. That is more than set in stone. But he is hurtling towards records at Anfield as one of the best ever goal scorers for Liverpool in the club's history, which is saying something considering the players that have played for this football club over the years. But Liverpool have the lead, and now they want to try and add to that lead. Here's Gakpo bricking down the left. Very much a momentum team at Liverpool, and Gakpo's cross blocked by Camara behind for a corner. As I was saying, Liverpool are a very momentum-based team. You know, we've seen it time and time again. When Liverpool score one, they have that energy up and they try and score a second. And many's the time before we've seen them score that second. And here this evening, they have an opener in additional time. As we edge towards the end of this first half, about a minute or so to go. They have a corner on this left side, Liverpool. This will be their first corner of the game, by the way. Cody Gakpo will take. Left-hand side. Right-footed delivery. Cleared away at the near post. Bouncing down to Bradley, who hits one. And he's took it on the volley, and it took the wind as it left the foot of the Northern Irishman. Well, quite ironically, you wouldn't believe that I believe that shot from Mo Salah, that goal, was the 13th shot that Liverpool have had in this first half. You couldn't write it if you tried. The irony. The unluckiest number turns out to be Liverpool's lucky number tonight. Lucky number 13, it seems, for Liverpool there on that one. 13 shots in the first half, which is quite a step up as Konate gets absolutely shoved into one of the stewards on the sideline there. It's keep an eye on Konate, who's helped back to his feet by Mo Salah, but no respect at all from Aston Villa as McGinn does come over and make sure he's okay. But I mean, that's just, it's a heat of the moment thing from John McGinn, but it's just a bit silly. It's just not necessary, really, just shoving Konate into the advertising hoardings. But he does shake hands with him afterwards as Rodgers goes down in the box, wants a penalty. Not going to get one for that, as he went down a little easily there, it seemed. The referee agreed with that as McAllister now unleashes. It's a 3-on-2 here for Liverpool. Here's Mohamed Salah, plays it towards Ekitike, who was well tussled, well marshalled by his defender and Ezri Konsa, who won a free kick anyway. But there is the half-time whistle. A first half at Anfield that the crowd are much happier with from their team than they were probably a few days ago. Mo Salah getting the slice of luck that probably Liverpool deserved from that first half. The performance probably slightly edging Aston Villa. Certainly in an attacking sense they look much brighter, Liverpool. And it surely isn't a coincidence that 9 of the 11 players that started tonight won the league with Liverpool last season. Is it a coincidence, or is it just chemistry? We'll see. Half time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Aston Villa 0. Sure, one last kick. This is gonna be it. This is the moment. Vicario kicks this, and Liverpool are there. Liverpool are Premier League champions. And there it comes. Crystal Palace, for the very first time in their history, are FA Cup winners. Oh, he's found the net. Oh, what a goal. Kvaratskhelia is through, wants to add a fourth, and does so. Ahmad, oh my goodness me. That is absolutely unbelievable. Rice again. Oh! You thought he couldn't beat the first one. He's gone and battered it. Another whip ball in. The header is in by Virgil van Dijk. Incredible. Welcome back to Premier League Live. Half time at Anfield. It's Liverpool 1, Aston Villa 0. Do stay with us. The second half is on the way in just a moment. So very shortly on the way for you. And Liverpool leading through Mohamed Salah's goal. A mistake by Emi Martinez that allowed Mohamed Salah in, and he scored his 250th goal for Liverpool. Quite fantastic for Mohamed Salah. Right, but after tonight, it's not the end of our weekend. Very much not so. We're actually only not even halfway through our weekend's coverage at the end of the evening. This is only our second game of 5 live games we're watching this weekend here in LFS. A great marauding of action for you this Saturday, Sunday and Monday here in LFS. Tomorrow we've West Ham taking on Newcastle from 2, followed by a trip to Manchester City for Bournemouth at 4:30 before a Monday night game to round off the weekend as Sunderland host Everton at 8 o'clock on Monday night. Looking forward to all of those games. Some very interesting ones along the list there. So far this weekend, Brighton winning at home, Arsenal winning away at Burnley, Palace winning at home as well as Fulham, and Nottingham Forest a 2-2 draw with Manchester United earlier, and Chelsea winning by a 1-0 away at Spurs. And of course half-time Liverpool 1-up against Villa. And the games still to come this weekend. It is looking very good for what's to come the remainder of this weekend. And we will, of course, later on this evening, after today's results, we will round up the table and the results of the day. Once we conclude the game at Anfield, as it stands, Liverpool will be jumping up to 3rd in the table, ahead of everybody else who's played this weekend, but could drop as low as 4th. Depending on results elsewhere, or actually 5th, sorry, depending on results elsewhere tomorrow between Sunderland and Man City, who can still go above them, and Bournemouth, who would still be above Liverpool, even as they're winning here this evening. That would only change if Liverpool were to score 3 more goals and win by a 4-goal margin, but Bournemouth could still react to that when they play tomorrow. But we will see. It's still only half time, and Aston Villa will be dropping to 11th with defeat so far this evening, but a long way still to go as the second half is on the way. Don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications. We've just hit 30,100 subscribers. Keep it going. Thank you very much for your support. It's always greatly appreciated, and it's great to have your company for this one tonight. Do get involved in the chat if you haven't done so already. That would be great to have your company tonight and enjoy this game with us. And we've already had I wouldn't say the most incredible game earlier on, but will not disrespect a Premier League game of football, but some of them need a little bit of a humbling because it wasn't the most frivolous of games, but a good game for Chelsea anyway. Ethan in the chat, welcome in, thank you very much indeed. He says he's the die-hard Liverpool fan. Well, thank you very much for joining us. I'm sure you're happy at half-time with Liverpool leading by a 1-0, and they're kicking towards the Kop end in the second half, of which we're about to see the kickoff. Let's see. Liverpool will kick us off for the second half, kicking towards the Kop end, as I've already mentioned. Villa kicking towards their fans in that far away end. As we get underway then, Alexis McAllister gets us going, and Liverpool get the second half underway, which they lead by a 1-0. Salah almost onto the ball instantly there with that long ball from Liverpool in the very first minute of the half, and they win a throw in early doors here, Liverpool. Dan says Szoboszlai so good. Szoboszlai was fantastic in that first half, certainly one of the best players on the field. Bradley, nice little flick towards Gravenberch. Now trying to find it back to Bradley. It looked like it was going towards the right back there, but nicely intercepted as Gerson was well challenged by Connor Bradley, tracking back. Fabulous from Bradley. Proud Northern Irishman. A good compatriot of mine, Connor Bradley. No bias, of course. As back underway is that was trying to spin on the ball there around Gravenberch, but not quite successful in that. As here's Amadou Onana. Back to Ezri Konsa. Into Amadou Onana. Fired towards Rodgers, tracked by Szoboszlai and dispossessed by Dominik Szoboszlai. Well, one thing about Liverpool, despite their losing run, they have one of the best scoring streaks. They've scored in 44 successive games now in the Premier League. That's dating back to that 1-0 defeat here at Anfield against Nottingham Forest back in September of last year. And it remains the only league game which Liverpool have played under Arne Slot which they have failed to score. Quite fantastic run. The English record is 55 games. So Liverpool still need 11 more of those games scoring in succession to equal the record. The English football record, as Ezri Konsa penalised for a foul on a Liverpool player, and Juan Gravenberch, I believe that was. I love saying his name, by the way. Now, since I've heard how you actually say Ryan Gravenberch, you don't pronounce the G, it's Gravenberch. I'm not giving pronunciation tips on Dutch right here, right now, but that's what I've heard anyway. A lot of people call them Gravenberch. It's Gravenberch. Beautiful name. Anyway, Robertson's long ball forward. Headed away by Cash, away from the threat of Gakpo, but nicely won back by Robertson. Now Gakpo. Out wide to Szoboszlai. And now Gravenberch. Into Ekitike, who drops deeper, finding Dominic Szoboszlai. Out to Salah on the right hand side. Salah cuts on to his left, looking to loft it in. Deep in the back post, Gakpo! Tried to have a go, missed it, and I think he was offside anyway there, Cody Gakpo. Beautiful from Salah again. Spots the run before he can even see his man. He knows it's happening, and he's just straight offside, Gakpo. He didn't get any contact with the ball in any case, but if he had have, and if he kept himself onside, that would have been a wonderful goal. But nonetheless, it's offside anyway. Liverpool pressing high and Martinez getting rid. Not taking the similar risks that he took in the first half that he paid the price for. It's Van Dijk, really nice direct play. Works it back with Robertson adjusting well. Sorry, McAllister adjusting well to find Robertson. And now Van Dijk. Back to Mamardashvili. Beautiful little touch by Salah. Still got the ball. He heads it forward for Bradley, who was mischallenged by Luca Digne. And here's Conor Bradley charging towards the goal. Conor Bradley cuts it across, 3 in the middle for Liverpool. But it's cleared away by Boubacar Kamara, who was in there and got the block. Again, a little bit loose from Luca Digne, who has struggled with Salah the whole of the first half and struggled there trying to challenge Conor Bradley, his number sake, his opposite number, and on that occasion he burst down the right side. Bradley tried to cut it back for the running of either Salah, Gakpo or Ekitike, who were all in the middle. Konate gets beaten past by Ollie Watkins. He's got plenty of cover though. Watkins trying to find an outlet. Goes back to Amadou Onana, who will switch it across to the right side. Matty Cash. Back to Ezri Konsa. Now into Onana. Now Kamara. Out to the right hand side for Cash again. Will try and loft it in behind. Nicely guided by Andy Robertson. Back to his goalkeeper, Georgi Mamardashvili. Here's Robertson now pinging forward. Too much on that one. And it's comfortably back to Emi Martinez. And he didn't miss too much. Liverpool had 1 or 2 attacking opportunities, but no major goal threats as of yet. Not much has been missed, but a positive start to the half for Liverpool. And the crowd are very much making themselves heard. Emi Martinez, edge of his own box, firing long up the middle, and Konate winning his header. Battling in the middle was Gravenberch, not quite reaching that one, but has Bradley in cover. Bradley does well in a tight space to find Szoboszlai. Tried to skip it towards Salah, but Salah just couldn't quite keep up with Dominic Szoboszlai there. And throw into Villa, which they play back to their keeper. They're playing out from the back again. Oh, Pau Torres does well, just about to get it to Luca Digne. And Luca Digne ends up playing it right back to Virgil van Dijk. Here's Szoboszlai. Out to Salah. Up against Digne again. Salah back inside to Bradley, who works it back to Konate. Well, yeah, Andy, not good for you. Certainly to start the second half. Liverpool have dominated the possession in the early parts of this second half as well. Over 80% of the ball in the first 6.5 minutes. So certainly having a lot more of the control. But here's Rodgers trying to fire one forward. But again, a miscommunication. And he was looking for the runner in behind. And neither McGinn or Watkins wanted to be that runner in behind for Villa on that occasion. And Liverpool easily retrieve. McAllister linking up with Ekitike. McAllister back to Van Dijk. Here is Alexis McAllister. And Van Dijk across to Ibrahima Konate. Back to Mamardashvili. Flicks it long. Up on one by Gravenberch and one back by Gerson. And a late run from Watkins, but well covered by Ibrahima Konate, and the crowd responding with a rising chorus of Ibu. As here is Gakpo stepping onto his right foot, cuts inside looking for Salah. Salah heads it back down, and Bradley forcing a very good save out of Emi Martinez. That was gorgeous. I think the offside flag was up against Salah, but my goodness, what a strike by Bradley. Great from Gakpo, trying to return the favour to Salah, who tried to find him earlier. Salah again, about a yard or two offside. Really good step up by Villa. They knew they were offside, and a cutback to Connor Bradley was sumptuous, and then the strike was beautiful on the volley. Good save by Emi Martinez, but Salah was offside in the build-up anyway. Well, Aston Villa have won just one of the last 30 Premier League away games against the reigning champions. Drawn 5 and lost 24. Beating Man United 1-0 at Old Trafford in December of 2009. The Villains have lost their last 11 such games, conceding 35 goals in the process. Virgil van Dijk penalised for a foul there and also given a yellow card is the Liverpool captain. I don't know whether it's the arguments to the free kick or whether it is for the free kick itself, for the foul itself, but a yellow card for Virgil van Dijk. Very intense press from Szoboszlai there, forcing a misplaced pass, and now the space is there. Salah, the referee's actually going to pull it back for a free kick. Well, the referee took about 5 seconds to make that decision. That was quite bizarre. See this again. So, not a foul initially by Szoboszlai, not looking at it, and then he turns around the referee as Liverpool win it back, sees that there's a player down for Villa, and gives a free kick. I don't know about that. I don't know what he's seen there because he wasn't looking at the play. Anyway, Robertson comes across and puts that one out for a Villa throw, but a little bit interesting there from the referee. A bit of a deflection right from the throw in. They wanted a throw there, Liverpool, but goes the way of Villa once again. Cash with a short throw down the right side. Ekitike getting physical, as is Gakpo, and the ball into the box. Come all the way through, but Konate heads clear. And Pau Torres heading back to Ezri Konsa, who's being pressed by Mo Salah. One of the most threatening presences in a one-on-one tussle you would never want to see. And Bradley a little bit late there. The referee's going to play advantage as Luka Dean was brought down, but Onana's got it. Now Camara, he's had it dispossessed. Nice step in by Gravenberch, and now Salah. Beautiful from Salah. Close control is wonderful. Look at him skipping through players and going down, wanting a foul. Not given. Onana back on the ball. Pressing by McAllister. Ball in behind towards Gerson. Nicely seen by Robertson. Cleared away by Andy Robertson to his welcomed receiver in Ugo Ekitike. Lovely bit of skill. Finding McAllister. The crowd are loving this at the moment. And now McAllister's going to get a free kick for being pulled by Morgan Rodgers. A yellow card's also going to be given. The referee's actually going to give the yellow card to for a Villa player for pulling back Ugo Ekitike rather than the other one And that's a fair decision by the referee. So a free kick to Liverpool. Matty Cash given a yellow card for that one. And Ugo Ekitike's name the latest to be sung around Anfield. You know you've started well at Liverpool when you've already got a song within 3 months. That's when you know you've started well. At any football club, really. When you've, within your first 3 months, already got a song that the crowd are singing to you. Andy says this is a better Liverpool team. Villa are not easy to beat at the moment. 9 that played last season for Liverpool. Excuse me, there as Salah tried to keep it in play, couldn't on that occasion. 9 that played last season for Liverpool on the pitch. You're right what you're saying, man. Yeah, I think it's not a coincidence that Liverpool have looked better tonight in the way that they've played in terms of their possession and their aggression. I think it has been just more energy and a bit more luck and a bit more kind of threat from Liverpool in the final third, but also at the same time it is down to the fact that 9 of the 11 that started for them tonight have won the league for them last season, so they know each other. They played well with each other. They've won a league title with each other. That creates so much chemistry. That's a lovely move by McAllister finding Gravenberch. Ryan Gravenberch 2-0 to Liverpool, and Ryan Gravenberch returns to the field of play and scores once again, posing for a picture that many will remember in their minds, and that Kop ends. And Ryan Gravenberch doubles Liverpool's lead. In the right moment, in the most important moment. Moment number 58 of the game. Liverpool lead by 2-0. And that was very Ryan Gravenberch coded, because he done it. Well, one back again by Van Dijk. And I talked a lot. See, when Liverpool were struggling, I talked a lot. And any team, when you're struggling, it's second balls. Winning the ball back. When you win the ball back, it's all well and good winning the first header, but you have to be aggressive. It's what you do after that. It's so important. And the second ball, Liverpool win it. They play it nicely. Alexis McAllister, wonderful ball. Finding around Gravenberch. Takes the shot. Takes a little bit of a bubbly deflection, but it actually spins back. Double deflection. Goes one way, goes the other. And at completely wrong foot, Emi Martinez. And Villa double their lead. Or Liverpool double their lead against Villa. And a painful one, clearly, by Unai Emery standards, because he slumped to the floor when that one went in. 2-0 to Liverpool. And Arne Slot talked about scoring in the right moments. Was that a moment that was right for Liverpool to score? When they'd been dominating the start of the second half, when they'd been pushing and pressing and playing really well, to find that second, just to give them a little bit more ease and a little bit more control, and to kick them on even further in this game. But is it a coincidence that the 2 goals for Liverpool have come in their last 3 shots in this game? Shot number 12 was Mo Salah's goal, and shot number 14 was Ryan Gravenberch's goal. Their first shot of the second half. 2-0 to Liverpool. Nice ball again. Gravenberch breaking forward again. Look at him. He's in the 10 here. Advanced midfielder. Here's Szoboszlai. Salah. Szoboszlai now. Well, it looks like the crowd have got another song they want to sing. And I think Ryan Gravenberch's name is in that song. It's a very famous Dutch anthem. You see the Dutch fans sing it and dance to that kind of left to right song. If you know that one, where they all go from one side to the other and bounce together. That's that sort of tune. Here's Salah. Comes inside, trying to work the ball into the box. Bradley pressing. Look at that for a press. And a bit too overzealous as the shot is wide anyway, but a foul by Bradley, but intense in his press. Really well counter-pressed there by Conor Bradley. And Salah tried the ball, didn't work out. Bradley was there to try and win it back. And then McAllister strode on to have a shot. Andy says we're very nervous in defence, Villa are. We're struggling with the front three and Bradley and Szoboszlai running midfield. I would agree with that. I think Liverpool in midfield have looked a lot stronger tonight, but I also think that Salah's played better. In possession, much better. I think Szoboszlai's looked incredible again. Ekitike's had his moments, as has Gakpo. But I think the midfield has been much more aggressive tonight, much stronger as they win it back again here. Liverpool high up here. Szoboszlai to Mohamed Salah. Not much room to shoot there. Well charged down by Villa. 3 players got in his way there. And Szoboszlai offside as he gets onto the ball. But they want it back high again there, Liverpool. And Villa, again, playing themselves into trouble. I mean, that's woeful from Ezri. Konsa just plays it off Ekitike and it finds it Szoboszlai, and Salah just takes a little bit too long to have the shot. Allows Villa to get bodies around the ball. That's a nice direct ball through the middle there from Villa. And here comes Ross Barkley, who's on the field now. He's going to have a go. And he's off balance as he had his shot. And that was well saved, easily saved by Georgi Marmirishvili. I didn't mention that double Villa substitution literally about 5 minutes ago, or 3 minutes ago, just after the goal was scored. Donyell Malen and Ross Barkley are both on. McGinn and Gerson are off. As Salah in behind again. Well seen out by Luca Digne. So a double Villa substitution just after the goal. And I think Unai Emery was wanting to make those changes just before the goal went in. He was bringing players on. I just got a glimpse of it before Ryan Gravenberch scored that second goal for Liverpool. So clearly he was hoping to make some changes to get Villa back into the game at 1-0 down. And that's why he was so pained at seeing the second goal go in, that it kind of killed any sort of momentum that maybe his substitutes would have had in that moment. And the crowd are very happy. Can you blame them for it? Not very much at all. Definitely not. Throw in down the left there for Liverpool. Ekitike winning the header, but just couldn't keep that one in play that time. Ugo Ekitike. He had a great header in the first half that went into the net, but he was in an offside position. So he certainly can direct them in the right area. And you got to say, for Liverpool tonight, I know they're 2-0 up and they're in a good position at the moment with 25 minutes still to go. So still quite a bit to go. But I think the performance tonight, more than anything, has just been more impressive. I think what we've seen from Liverpool, and disregarding the Eintracht Frankfurt game that they were much better in, they just dominated Frankfurt that night and they were much the better side. But in the games that they lost, they've been really out-muscled and out-challenged and out-fought, and every other team's been more physical than them. The one word I took out from that Liverpool form as of recent is Watkins has a miss kick in the box there, long ball forward, he miskicked it, goal kick. But one thing that I mentioned a lot with Liverpool when they weren't winning, when they were in this really poor run of form that we've just seen, is they've been weak. That's the one word I've I've said consistently throughout that time, and it's about weakness. Strong on the ball, winning your duels, winning your battles, being more physical, showing the opposition you're here to give the game to them rather than allowing them to dominate you. Never really controlling a game, never really dominating a game, and all of those little things come together and going against you. And I think Liverpool tonight have put all those pieces together, and we're starting to see that maybe it isn't as bad as what we thought. Maybe it isn't a crisis. Maybe it's just they've been outfought in the last few games and they just haven't been able to fend that off. And let's not forget, they've not been pummeled, Liverpool. As Szoboszlai does incredibly again. Here's Salah trying to work it off Digne. And Digne who clears his lines and will stay in play. Konate does really well at out-battling Ollie Watkins. But I think it's about, really honestly, imposing yourself on a game. Liverpool haven't done that enough. And as I said, they haven't been pummeled in games. They haven't been beaten by 3 and 4. They've been beaten by the odd goal. So it's not that it's been like they've been gaping and they can't buy a goal for love nor money. They're in games, they're just not doing enough to win games. And that's been the issue for Liverpool in recent games. You know, we talk about Man United, a better performance. They just couldn't finish their dinner that day against United. That happens. But compounded with other results, it looks more difficult. It looks worse. Brentford, long throw, set pieces. We know this is an issue with Liverpool. Liverpool know that it's an issue for them. And again, they saw it. They paid the price for it in the Brentford game. But tonight, I think they've been much more solid from those areas. So they've addressed it. But I think in other games where they've lost by the goal, I mean, Chelsea, a last-minute goal. Liverpool have had their fair share of last-minute goals this season already. So I think it comes down to fine margins. And that's what the Premier League's all about. You know, I mean, if Liverpool, they lost by the odd goal in those games, and you're probably 15 minutes of a performance away from saying that Liverpool are on an unbelievable run and they're right back in the mix with Arsenal, and both of them are in the mix at the top of the table. We're probably a few performances, probably 10-minute spells of performances, away from saying that. And I think you look at the results, and of course, losses, inconsistent, 6 of the last 7. It's an atrocious run of form for a club like Liverpool. But on the balance of things, it just so happens they all came together in one moment. And I think Liverpool would rather it happen in one moment and they can get over it and go, we've come through the storm in the metaphorical sense, and we're on the other side of it. We've come through that dark tunnel, we're on the other side of that performance now, and we can kick on from this. Good move down the left side, Robertson's offside. Again, good play down that left side, just not holding their run quite well enough there, Robertson, that time. But again, the options are there. But as I was saying, I think, really, if I'm honest, this is a performance in the right direction. But again, it's not going to get any easier for Liverpool this week. You know, they then host Real Madrid here on Tuesday night in the Champions League. That's going to be a tough game. Then they go to Man City next weekend, next Sunday, and then they come home to Nottingham Forest after the international break before they host PSV, and then a trip to West Ham to end November. It's not an easy run of form, but it's a run of form that if Liverpool come out with it with a good record, they could really say to themselves, look, we had that tough spell, but look at what we've done recently. And I think there's that opportunity for Liverpool in the next week, certainly. If they remain unbeaten this game, the next game, and the game after against Villa, Real Madrid and Man City, that will be some turn up for the books. But again, long way to go. Still 20 minutes of this game still to go, as here's Gravenberch on the turn again, try to poke it through a very closing gap, and now Villa might be on the breakaway here. Here's Donyell Malen, one-on-one with Van Dijk. Donyell Malen hits it wide. Long range from Donyell Malen. We see it here again. It's Gravenberch, a little bit of a loose ball, and Liverpool on the having to deal with the counter-attack again. They've got men around the man, and Donyell Malen has a shot, gets an eye at goal, and then it was going towards the goal, but it just curls away at the last second. Marmarashvili was there to try and make a save in any case anyway, but in that moment, you got to say it was a chance for Aston Villa. Donyell Malen, the one to try and make that chance. It's Villa there. Oh, Amadou Onana overheading that pass back to Luca Digne. That goes out for a Liverpool throw. It just seems like Villa just can't get any momentum right now. Game's just been stolen away from them, and not unfairly. I think Liverpool have grasped it, and grasped it quite confidently and quite fairly in this game. I think their performance has well deserved it, but Villa now struggling with that momentum, trying to garner any sort of momentum now. Salah with a cross, overhit a little bit and into the hands of Emi Martinez, as Villa are going to make more subs, but not much movement from the Liverpool bench in the last few minutes. Of course, they still got the likes of Florian Wirtz and Federico Chiesa and maybe Endo, Kirkez amongst them on the bench, and not much movement from that Liverpool bench for the moment. I'm sure, certainly Arne Slot would love to have be bringing on Alexander Isak or Curtis Jones, who played well in recent games despite results, but he's injured as well as Isak. at this moment in time, and they would be some great subs for Liverpool, but at the minute they've done well there, as that's a good bit of defending from Van Dijk against Cash. Out for the Villa corner, but a little bit of an outlet down the right hand side there for Cash, and Virgil van Dijk doing really well there in a one-on-one, putting it out for the corner. I would agree with you, Andy. I don't think Liverpool can let this game sway back in Villa's favour. We've seen before a 2-0 scoreline come back and haunt Liverpool, so I don't think Liverpool can let this sway away from them. I think they still need to stay at the top level to the very final whistle to win this game, but there was a push in the face of Alexis McAllister there, and we had a good view of that. The camera behind the goal, or right inside the goal, and the referee has to sort this out now. Stuart Atwell. McAllister's down, and there's a yellow card out. We'll see this again. Ooh. Oh, that's terrible. Grips him round the neck. I think VAR might have a look at this. He grips Alexis McAllister round the neck, Amadou Onana. That's a really aggressive... no. Just no. That's not acceptable. No, he grips him round the neck. You can't be doing that. He gets a yellow card, Amadou Onana, from the referee, but VAR didn't look at it. He's taken a lot of risks there, Onana, for no reason. There's nothing happening. Amadou Onana gets a yellow card. I mean, he grips round the neck of Alexis McAllister. And Onana again involved. The crowd, the players are not happy. The Liverpool players are not happy. It's a bit of a battle there. Ball into the box. Away by Van Dijk. And it's a Liverpool free kick anyway, as McAllister wins the free kick off Amadou Onana. I agree with you, Andy. I think that's a red card. I really don't understand why they haven't looked. Oh my goodness! He's only yellow and doing that as well. Jesus Christ almighty. That's a completely different sport altogether, that is. I don't know what tryouts. He's certainly not playing football there, Amadou Onana. He's back in his bedroom playing wrestling. Jesus God. No need for that. He's already on a yellow card. He has to be careful. Amadou Onana. Villa making more subs, by the way. Tyrone Mings is on. They're actually making a triple change, sorry. Tyrone Mings, Jadon Sancho and Ian Matson are all on for Pau Torres, Ollie Watkins and Luca Digne. So 3 subs there for Villa. Mings, Sancho, Matson on for Digne, Watkins and Torres. So Onana stays on the field. But I think they were pre-planned, those subs anyway, in terms of they were already ready to go. Look at the press there from McAllister. Really fabulous. Mings on the field. Pressed by Salah. Forced to go long, Tyrone Mings. And Konate wins his header. Brought down by Villa, though, this time Matson. Malin sent into a running bit of space, but that ball's going to run away from him. And out for the Liverpool throw. Well, Villa have made all 5 of their changes. And Liverpool are about to make their first. They're going to see the introduction of Florian Wirtz coming on to the field in a moment. The last bits of instructions for Liverpool's number 7. The German who got 2 assists and probably should have had a goal against Eintracht Frankfurt in that 5-1 victory. His first 2 assists in Liverpool colours. Cash with a ping ball forward. Nicely intercept. Work by Robertson. Lovely little flick by McAllister. And now Gakpo feeds it down the left channel for Ekitike. Ugo Ekitike breaking into the box. Ekitike looking for options. Backheels it for Robertson, who tried to find it across the Salah. Great bit of defending in there by Ian Matson to get it away. What a ball by Robertson. And Salah was offside on the follow-up. We will see that again. Great from Ekitike. You think he's going to play it either across or go for a shot himself. He backheels it to Robertson. Pings it first time across towards Salah. And Matson was there to make the defensive header. And that was Ugo Ekitike's last involvement, as he's going to be replaced by Florian Wirtz. for Liverpool, and a standing ovation from the home crowd for their number 22. Thought he'd scored in the first half, offside, but he has been, again, a very solid performer up front for Liverpool today. And you gotta say, Hugo Ekitike just oozes quality. He just oozes calmness, if you know what I mean. Here is Barkley in the central of the pitch. Battling was Gakpo, and Wirtz in the tussle as well. That was very well done there by Villa. And Camara done very well there. And Rodgers trying to battle. It's come to Maatsen, who's in the box here for Villa. Back it goes to Jadon Sancho. Now Tyrone Mings. Here's Amadou Onana. Liverpool back in shape. Nice little move between Maatsen and Sancho. And now back to Maatsen, who got it back across the box and cleared away by McAllister. Onana onto it. Now Cash works it back to Ezri Konsa. Liverpool 2, Villa 0. 78th minute here at Anfield. Goals from Mo Salah and Ryan Gravenberch to give Liverpool the 2-0 lead. But Villa trying to work their way back into the game and get a goal back to maybe have a grandstand finish. Maybe make it a little less of an ease fest for Liverpool. Here's Jadon Sancho down the left-hand side, cuts onto his right foot. Now lots of bodies. Barkley on the turn has the shot fired well over the bar. Unai Emery very frustrated there that his team couldn't come away with a bigger chance or a better chance than the one they did with Barkley. It was fired over the crossbar. Salah, first touch was good, but was pundled over by Amadou Onana. Free kick to Liverpool. As I said, Amadou Onana has to watch himself. All a yellow card. Well, Liverpool have lost their last 4 Premier League matches. With Leicester in 2016-17, the only reigning champions to lose 5 in a row. In top flight history, there has been 7 occasions a reigning champion has lost 5 games in a row, and 3 have been Liverpool. But all came before 1950, so quite a long while ago. Here's Florian Wirtz, now finding Gakpo. Gakpo into the box, waiting for a chance to shoot. Blocked. Try to get another go, but nicely taken away by Ezri Konsa. Nicely worked by Konsa to lay it off to Barkley now. Liverpool may be struggling with a little bit of legs at the minute. Not saying they're completely gassed, but Aston Villa look a little bit stronger with their legs at the minute. No foul, said the referee, as Wirtz comes in and steals it away for Liverpool. And he tried to play it out wide to Gakpo, but apologises immediately for the miscued pass. And Morgan Rodgers has got a yellow card as well in the mix of all of this. I think maybe for argument with the referee that there wasn't a foul there, which he wanted, but in the end he doesn't get a foul and he gets himself a yellow card. It surprises me how players really don't understand that if you argue with the referee you're going to get a yellow card. I mean, unless you're the team's captain, it's sometimes naive, but I can get the anger and the frustration in the moment, but you'd be surprised to not get a yellow card in those certain circumstances when you do argue with the referee. Morgan Rodgers, the latest on the list. Here is Sancho down the left-hand side, getting past Bradley, and Bradley battling well, and blocking Jadon Sancho, puts it out for the corner. Yeah, well done from Bradley there. He looked like he was beaten by Sancho in the first phase, and then he came right back at him and defended it well. Put it out for the corner. That will be another Villa corner. This will be their 3rd corner of the game. It's not been a game full of corners. This will only be the 4th corner overall in the game. The 3rd for Villa. Liverpool have just had 1. Corner delivered in deep to the back post and over the head of everybody in there. and it's behind for a goal kick. Right. Well, I can tell you that this game, with about 9 minutes to go, Liverpool lead by 2-0. A reminder for you, we've got more football for you tomorrow. West Ham taking on Newcastle in the Premier League. That kicks off at 2 o'clock from the London Stadium. Looking forward to that one. West Ham, can they conjure up some form? They're in the bottom 3, second bottom in the league. One of the worst teams in the league at the moment are West Ham United. Lost 7 of their opening 9 games. And only Wolves have a worse record in the first 9. Actually, Wolves have played 10. Newcastle side, they play tomorrow, who will look to jump up into the top half again. Newcastle with a win. They would do that if they won tomorrow. Then that's followed by Man City taking on Bournemouth at 4:30. And then we end our weekend of coverage of 5 games here in LFS on Monday night as Sunderland take on Everton. Do hope you can join us for those games. If you have enjoyed this game in the stream tonight, or watch along of Liverpool v Aston Villa, it's still going. Not at the end just yet. But don't forget to like, subscribe, and do turn on post notifications so you don't miss any of our watch-alongs, any of our videos, any of our content here on LFS. As Villa down the right side, fired cross. And fired was the right word. It's stayed in play, has it? No, Maatsen thought it did, but the assistant says no. And that goes out of play. But so you don't miss anything that we do here on LFS. It's great to have your company with this one tonight, spending your Saturday night with us. There's lots of things you can watch on a Saturday night, but it's great that you have chosen to be with us tonight, and thank you all so much for that. Do appreciate it. Here's Salah, takes it down, gives it back to Bradley. Gravenberch really smart to leave the ball, and now the ball flicked in behind. Salah's in again. Mings does really well on recovery against Mo Salah, puts it out for the Liverpool throw. I think Arne Slot will be quite happy with what he's seen from his team this evening. The performance has been better. I think the second half it's been a little bit more even, but I think it's also considering the fact that Liverpool, when they got to 2-0, they've just managed this game quite well. And Villa have had half chances at the very best. Pressed by Konza, back to Emi Martinez, and now Mings absolutely sitting Dominic Szoboszlai down. That fair play to Tyrone Mings there. That was fabulous. Really a good bit of skill. Here's Ian Maatsen bursting forward. They've been much more aggressive, certainly in an attacking sense, Villa, in the last 10-20 minutes. I mean, they've got nothing to lose. They're 2-0 down, but the players on the field, I think Ian Maatsen is more of an attacking option at fullback rather than Luca Dean, and I think it was kind of that balance. I don't know whether, I mean, the Villa fans would know more than me, but whether Unai Emery was maybe questioning whether to go with that, a more attacking fullback in Ian Maatsen or Luca Dean, maybe against Salah. But I mean, Luca Dean didn't do very well against Salah, if I'm honest, tonight. I think Salah completely dominated him, but Ian Maatsen's looked a little bit more of an attacking outlet since coming onto the field, which Luca Dean really wasn't for a lot of this game, if not all of the game that he played. There's a call for handball there for Liverpool. The referee was going to play advantage, but he is given the free kick to Liverpool as they were dispossessed. And there's Isak and Frimpong, who are both out injured, both watching on from the sidelines, as well as Allison as well. Arne Slot will be hoping to get his players back fully fit. Georgi Marmanishvili at the moment has done a very good job, made some good saves tonight. Could be on course for a good result and a good performance for Georgi Marmanishvili. Here's Jadon Sancho bursting towards the goal, trying to work an angle for a shot, and he does have the shots, but it was a shot that wasn't going to threaten Georgi Marmanishvili of the Liverpool goal kick. Andy says, best place to listen to your team lose. Thank you, man. Thank you so much. Andy, it's great to have you as well. And you amongst a number of other people, the other Andy as well, and a couple of others that are always here, always supporting. It's great to have you, and thank you so much. It's really appreciated. Don't forget about that. It is really appreciated. Szoboszlai seen out of play there by Onana, but a throw-in will come Liverpool's way. Oh, well, Unai Emery might be in line for a card here. He's getting very involved with Dominik Szoboszlai. He wasn't happy that Szoboszlai was edging forward with that throw-in, and it's really riled up Unai Emery. And in the end, he's got himself a yellow card. I mean, I think it's more the fact of he's frustrated with the result, he's frustrated with the performance, and also he was outside of his technical area, which is a yellow card. And Unai Emery. I think Dominik Szoboszlai got a yellow card for time wasting as well. There is Wirtz holding on to the back of Mings, which will be a free kick to Villa. 2.5 minutes to go then. Here at Anfield, Liverpool 2, Aston Villa 0. Mo Salah and Ryan Gravenberch with the goals. Aston Villa have more than half chances. Both Szoboszlai and Unai Emery got yellow cards, by the way, for their respective actions. Szoboszlai for time wasting and Unai Emery for basically trying to assault the player. But we'll not go there. Anyway, I think this has been much more entertaining, this game. I think Liverpool played really good football. I think Villa in response have actually done some really good things, but I think just Liverpool have been the better side today. I think it's a Liverpool team that these fans, the 60,000 strong that are inside Anfield, will remember from last season. It's not quite hit the heavy heights, but it is a Liverpool team that looks stronger, look much more physical tonight, and actually just look more cohesive. They look like they know each other for once, which has been a little bit of a luxury in recent weeks for Liverpool. Here's Konsa down the right hand side to Cash, and Cash with the ball into the box, and Konate getting his head to that one, and Robertson flicking that one away with the clearance. Gravenberch, calm little ball into Salah, and now Liverpool have the man advantage. It's a 3-on-3. Here's Mohamed Salah. Can he find the right man? He's just laid it off to Gakpo a little bit behind him. Back to Salah, who couldn't quite get the touch, and Wirtz is beaten to it very well by Boubacar Kamara. He defended well there for Villa. Last minute of the 90. Here comes Sancho for Aston Villa. 7 Liverpool players back for the 3 Villa players that are up there. Nana will receive the ball and switch it out to the right side. Beautifully taken in by Cash. Up against Robertson. Andy Robertson allows the ball across, but the cross that is behind for the corner came off Robertson last. See this from Boubacar Kamara. That is absolutely unbelievable. He nutmegs Florian Wirtz in his own box. That takes some confidence from Boubacar Kamara. In the end, it's a victory that is a bit empty. Anyway, Villa corner, right hand side. Again, lots of players right on Marmadashvili, and the ball didn't beat the first man, and Robertson find Salah. And again, Liverpool want to break on the counter. It's a 4-on-3 now. They've the man advantage. Once again, it's Salah. He works it towards Bradley. And again, Kamara there to step in, along with Morgan Rogers. Here's Szoboszlai finding Bradley. They've switched off a little bit there, Villa. Bradley had the shot across, and Konsa got his foot to that one and got it back to his goalkeeper. 4 additional minutes at the end of the 90 then. And Dominik Szoboszlai is going to get player of the match, and I think that is very well deserved. Dominik Szoboszlai, another unbelievable performance from him. Incredible in the Liverpool midfield. And even when Liverpool have been poor and off it and nowhere near it in recent weeks, he's been the man that showed up week in, week out for Liverpool, and no one can argue against that. His performances have been by far the best of the Liverpool players. And Dominik Szoboszlai is given the player of the match. Very deserved. An issue there for Tyrone Mings, by the way. He's just had to come off. So his hamstring's gone, and I think that's Villa down to 10 now, because they've no substitutions left, if I'm correct. They've made 5 substitutions, so Mings is off, but no one's come on for him, so they're down to 10, Villa. I don't think they're in a hurry. I think they just want this game to end now. We're down to 10 men, and we're in the additional time, but Gakpo to take the throw in. But Liverpool will give it back to Aston Villa, as is in fair play, with their player going off. And a little chorus of Arne Slot, the Liverpool manager, having his name sung around Anfield. There's been question marks over the Liverpool manager and whether he's doing enough of a good job, something that I see as a real stupidity of an argument. The fact that the manager came in his first season and won the league, and then is being criticised the season after, is quite fickle in my mind and quite idiotic. But the crowd making sure that the Liverpool manager knows he's got the full backing of those inside the stadium. Well, Unai Emery, we'll see the end of their great winning run for Aston Villa. 4 wins in a row, the longest winning run of any Premier League team at the minute. And that will come to an end, and it looks like Liverpool's losing streak, which is the longest of any team in the league at the minute, will also come to an end tonight, it seems. And there is no urgency at all for any of the players to move it very quickly. I think they're all in agreement now, the 21 players that are on the pitch now. I think they're all in agreement. Let's just blow the final whistle as we enter the last minute. I mean, Konaté's just stood with the ball in his own half and no one is anywhere near him, and he doesn't want to pass it. And can you blame him? No. I think Villa down to 10 now. I think they know their day is done, and they don't want to take any more risks with the one less player on the field to give Liverpool any more encouragement. Here's McAllister though. Down the left to Gakpo. He's got Cash for company. Gakpo back to McAllister. Lays it off to Gravenberg. Told to shoot by the crowd. Doesn't do so. Szoboszlai out wide to Salah. Back to Szoboszlai. Bradley. And now back to Konaté, which is really good from Liverpool. And Robertson down the left hand side for Gakpo. In behind for McAllister was the target. Not quite found and caught by Emi Martinez. And that should be the last act of the game. And it is. The final whistle goes. And finally, for Liverpool and for Arne Slot, they're back to winning ways. A 4-game losing streak in the league has ended. And Villa's winning streak has also come to an end. 2 goals either side of the half. The first by Mo Salah, pouncing upon a mistake by Emi Martinez in the first half to give Liverpool a half-time lead. And into the second half, Ryan Gravenberch strode forward with a great ball from Alexis McAllister and struck past Emi Martinez to double the champions' lead. Liverpool looked much like themselves of last season tonight, and much better performance than we'd seen in recent weeks. Maybe this is a foundation for what's to come, but if there's ever a week for Liverpool to make a point, it's this week. Villa's down. It's Real Madrid and Manchester City to come next. Not getting any easier for the champions, but they're back to winning ways, and after what is a 4-game losing streak that came to an end tonight, they're still only in third in the table, so it's not completely done and dusted, but they do remain 7 points behind league leaders Arsenal. But there's 3 points in the right direction for Liverpool. Final score at Anfield tonight. It has finished Liverpool 2, Aston Villa 0. And a full confirmation of all of our results as well as the league table. We're going to do now for you. Brighton 3-0 winners against Leeds United at the Amex Stadium earlier today. 2 goals from Diego Gomez in the second half, securing a Brighton victory. Arsenal cruising to victory away at Burnley. Both goals coming in the first half, and the Gunners extended their lead to the top. They are now 7 points clear at the top. Crystal Palace, another win for them after what has been a poor recent run of form for Palace. But that win over Liverpool in the week gave them the bounce, and Brentford were the team to lose to them today, 2-0. Fulham 3-0 winners against 10-man Wolves, and a draw for Man United. That their winning streak comes to an end today. That the United strand will have to wait another 5 games at least now. That winning streak to an end, 2-2 with Nottingham Forest. A first point for Sean Dyche in charge of Forest, and a defeat at home for Spurs. Back-to-back home defeats in the league for Spurs, and this time Chelsea, a team they know very well, who they've beaten recently, and Liverpool back to winning ways for the first time in 5 weeks in the league. We have seen Liverpool pick up victory since match day 5 was the last time they won before match day 10, and they have won 2-0 tonight. A reminder for you that West Ham against Newcastle is our first game tomorrow, followed by Manchester City taking on Bournemouth at 4:30 before Sunderland taking on Everton is our final game of the weekend. Let's have a look at the table then before we leave you tonight. What has been a very intriguing last 4.5 hours with you. Top of the table looks like this. Arsenal lead the way by 7 points. At the top, 25 points from their first 10 games. 8 wins, 1 draw, 1 defeat. Second come Bournemouth, who play tomorrow. The Bournemouth could close the gap to the top to 4 points. Quite crazy if they beat Man City at the Etihad tomorrow, but that would be a big tall order. City can move themselves up the table with a win, but we'll go there in a moment. Liverpool back to winning ways. They're up to 3rd in the table. Spurs drop down to 4th on 17, as do Chelsea. They're in 5th now on 17, along with Sunderland on 17, who's still to play, so Sunderland can jump up the table today, Monday night, Man United down to 7th, and Man City dropping places as well, but they can bounce all the way back up to 2nd, City, with a win tomorrow. And Crystal Palace are in 9th on 16 points. After their win earlier today, and Brighton up to the top half. Villa drop into the bottom half with their first defeat in 5, and they play Bournemouth next, so not an easy one for them next week, but they're on 15 points. Brentford in 12th on 15, and then come, Brentford on 13, Then come Newcastle on 12, they've still to play this weekend. Then Fulham, Everton, Leeds and Burnley make up the bottom half of the table. Before the bottom 3, Nottingham Forest in 18th on 6 points, West Ham on 4 points, and Wolves rock bottom of the table on 2 points. And their 7th defeat of the, their 8th defeat of the season, today, when they headed to Fulham. That's it from us tonight. It has been great to have your company for our 2 games this evening. Chelsea and Liverpool both back to winning ways after defeats. Liverpool's long streak ended, as is Aston Villa's, and the Reds acting more like the champions we saw last season. Good night.